Welcome to the Box Score Sports Podcast.
Okay, let's go to our next topic. This is actually going to be kind of fun, I think. We're going to grade, what I like to call, I don't know if you remember going to school, and every so often you get sent home with a progress report. And those progress reports would indicate where you were in certain classes. I might be a little older. Maybe you don't remember that.
No, I
So,
do.
like, for instance, okay. So you get like, oh, did you get an A, a B? Where you at? And then your parents would be like, what? You got a D minus here. We got to get that up, and you don't get any of your Nintendo anymore until we get that up. So that's sort of what we're going to be doing today. We're going to give some progress reports, and we're going to do that throughout the next couple weeks for each team. And we're going to start with the Atlantic Division, and we're going to give them to we're going to focus on the Celtics, 76ers, Knicks, and Raptors and Nets. So I want your grade for each of these teams, Isaac, but let's just start one at a time. Let's go with the Celtics. What is your grade for the Boston Celtics to start the season? Progress report. Halfway through the season, I should say.
What I had them at the beginning, and then where I have them now.
Yeah, or you know what you thought to versus what we see right now. Yeah.
A plus now.
Okay, A plus, huh?
Now, yeah, and then I had them at an A plus start the year.
Okay.
But that Drew Holiday trade was like, ooh. It's like, let's go. Because at first, if they didn't make that Drew Holiday trade, losing Marcus Smart really hurt, man. I was very scared about that.
Mm-hmm.
That would have made my expectations a little lower. I would have been like, I don't think that makes the Celtics better. But getting Drew Holiday was like, bang. And then the way they're playing, they've been playing, they're the best team in the NBA right now. So
I do like how it seems, especially with the Porzingis piece, how flawless when he's out there, how flawless it all seems to fit.
And that was the biggest question mark for the Celtics
right.
heading into this year. They were wondering how that would work. It was either going to be very, very great, or it was going to be like a disaster. It was going to go one or the other, you know. So I'm happy it went to the good. It went on the positive note. So
yeah, and Derek White when he's like, you know, the third, fourth option on the court, that's kind of nice for him. Like he's not even that. Like right, you got Tatum, Brown, Porzingis, you know, Holiday, White. So he's like the fifth option.
Holiday and White is like the best backcourt I've ever seen. As far as defensively,
I can't. I'd have to do research on that.
As far as best backcourts,
yeah,
it'd probably be Clay and Steph.
Yeah, like I know, like Joe Dumars and Isaiah Thomas, for instance, was a really good defensive.
Yeah, they were
backcourt.
good. Yeah,
really good.
Oh, so, you're talking about defensively?
Well, yeah, that's what you mentioned. So I'd have to do like research on it. You know what I'm saying?
No, I think Drew and D White are up there, man.
I don't know. Well, a debate for an off-season topic, that'd be a great debate. We should look up the best defensive backcourts and rate them. That'd be kind of fun.
That would be fun.
Yeah. So right now they're on top of the East, so it's easy to give them. I'm giving them an A. I'm a stingy professor that don't believe in A pluses.
We'll give them at least an A plus then, Ryan.
You're gonna be mad at me all day if I don't.
It's fine. You're not a Celtics fan.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm gonna put the Pistons at an F minus.
Well, I'm gonna put them at I'm expelling them from school. That's what I'm doing. They're getting expelled. That's where the Pistons are right now, expelled. Okay, let's 76ers. What's your grade for the 76ers so far?
So far, I got them at I'd say at a B plus.
B plus, okay.
Yeah, I got them at a B plus. Embiid and Maxey are doing good this year, but I don't think they're better than the Bucks. So I think the seeding is perfectly Boston, Milwaukee, and Philly.
Yeah,
Those
so
are the
for
top three.
yeah, Philly's been great, and for me, I'm gonna give them an A minus, and the reason why I'm gonna give them an A minus is because of the Harden trade, and like if
Okay.
I didn't have them as a like because of the Harden stuff going on. I really didn't have them as like a contender. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like because they needed somebody, a running mate with Joel Embiid. They needed
Sure.
somebody, and Maxey turned out to be that guy. The
Hmm.
trade they got for Harden really worked out for the 76ers. I mean, we talk about how well the Clippers are playing. The
Yeah.
76ers are surviving too really well without Harden, which you don't expect to trade
Right.
an all-star type caliber player for pieces.
Right.
You don't always
No,
expect that.
I had the
So,
Sixers where you have them now, Ryan. It's just, they've been kind of struggling a little bit. They were on a very, like, you know, great winning streak for a while. I think they were like on like an 8 or a 9 game winning streak without Harden. And then
mhm,
Harden was struggling.
mhm.
Now it's like,
Yeah.
now that the Clippers are doing well, like what you were saying, that's why I brought it down to a B plus, because now it's, I don't know. I feel like Harden's now trying to show that, like, hey, I am that guy. I feel like Harden's having a lot of stuff to prove this year, especially with all that was going on last year with Philly and stuff like that. So I just feel like it's a B plus right now because they're not the second seed, they're not the first seed, and I don't think roster overall they're better than the Bucks or the Celtics. So
Yeah, so this is why agreed, but if you would have told me before the season that the Philadelphia 76ers traded James Harden, did
mhm.
not get another all-star back, just got a bunch of role players, and they are the third seed in the Eastern Conference, I'd be like, "Oh, that's pretty good." So
No,
that's where I land.
and
But
that's
to
what I
your
was saying.
point,
Yeah, that's what I was
yeah,
saying right when that Harden trade happened, Philly was on a tear. They were going
yeah.
crazy. Max was going crazy, but they kind of slowed down a little bit now. So that's why I just have them at a B plus. If they were the second seed or they were like tied with Boston for the number 1 seed, and the Clippers and Harden wasn't, they didn't flip the switch.
Yeah.
I would have had the Sixers at like an A, because that would have determined, like, wow, they really did way better than, that they did way better without Harden than they did with.
Yeah.
So, but I see what you're saying. But it's pretty, like, the Clippers are 23-13 and the Philadelphia 76ers are 23-12. So
Yeah.
that's kind of like what I'm judging it based off of right now. Why I have them at a B plus, because it's like Harden flipped it around, man. If he didn't, ooh. So it
Yeah,
looked good
and
for Philly.
to your point, the 76ers are 5-5 in their last 10. I mean, so are the
Yeah,
Bucks, but
they
like
slowed down, man.
yeah, they slowed down a teeny bit, but that's part of the NBA season. It's long,
It's
it's
fluid.
rigorous, it's a marathon. Yeah,
It's
it is
fluid.
fluid. Very, very much so. Okay. New York Knicks 22-15. They are 6-4. They've won 5 straight. They added OG Anunoby, and it's funny, he's not averaging as much points as RJ Barrett, but he is contributing, and I wonder if his role will increase the more he's played with the guys. So for the New York Knicks, what grade do you give the New York Knicks for the season they've had
Um,
so far?
I have them at a B, solid B. Um, I think the trade is looking good for them.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see them better than the top 3 seeds um in the East. I don't think New York is gonna go anywhere. Um, they are on a 5 game winning streak. They're 6-4 in their last 10, but they're not that good on the road.
Mm.
They're 11-11. They're 500 on the road, but they are good at home though. They are 11-4 in the Garden, but I just don't. As for me though, as an NBA fan, looking at how the Knicks have been playing, I don't see them in the playoffs, heading into the playoffs, that they're going to be a big threat to those top 3 seeds. So um, it's a B right now, but we'll see. I guess we'll see moving forward how they play. Brunson's been playing good, but
Yeah, I think losing Mitchell was huge. I think they've rebounded really nicely from that because like, when you lose a guy like Mitchell, kind of a defensive anchor, so to speak, somebody that like 7'1" can block shots, stuff like that. That's hard. That's hard for a team, but they've rebounded nicely. I saw, we've talked about, I really like the trade for them, but that trade didn't really put them over the top.
No,
They are doing exactly what I expected them to do. So because of that, I'm gonna go B as well, mainly because they're just doing, like they're the team that I expected them to be this year. So
sure.
they're not like wowing me, they're not impressing me that much, but they're kind of
Yeah.
like they're doing exactly what I thought they would do this year. So,
It's
B
like,
so far.
yeah, it's just, yeah, it's not nothing surprising with the Knicks,
Right, right, yeah.
but never know, man. I mean, I'm not a Knicks fan by any means. I hate New York, but I'm just saying, like Brunson, if Brunson can do what he did in the playoffs last year, I was so rooting for the Knicks to beat the Heat that second
Yeah.
round. Like it would have been so awesome to see the Knicks and the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. I was rooting for that. I guess we'll see, like how the Knicks play in the playoffs, but I just don't see them beating Philly or Milwaukee. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't see them doing
No,
that.
me either. No, no.
So
But yeah, yeah, and they're doing exactly what I kind of expected them to do. So it's hard to be like, oh, they get an A for the season or a B plus even
yeah,
just
nah,
because they're doing exactly what I thought they would do this year, or they're doing as good as I thought they would do this year, you know, in the
right.
top 4 or 5 of the teams. Okay, let's talk about our next team, which is the Raptors. So the Raptors were also part of the trade. Right now, the Raptors are sitting at
11th.
14 and 21, 2-game losing streak. We know that one of those games was last night with the coach complaining about the following there.
Mm-hmm.
What's your grade for the Raptors on this season?
I got them at a D.
Oh, D, okay.
Yeah. They're 0-9 in their division in the Atlantic. They're 9-17 in the East, and they're 6-13 on the road. So they're not doing so hot. Siakam, and I'm going off of it too that they're probably gonna move Siakam. Um, it's just a rebuilding. They're the
Mhm.
Raptors are rebuilding, so they're not wowing me. Obviously, to give them a C or a B like these other teams. So I got them at a D just because based on the record that I've been seeing how they've been playing on the road and in the conference and in the division. It's terrible how they play against Eastern opponents.
Yeah, so what did I forgot? What did you have the Raptors at the beginning of
In the
the season?
beginning, oh, I don't,
Yeah.
I don't think I don't even think I had them in the. Did I have them in the play-in? I don't know. I don't remember the Raptors what I had. I know I didn't
Yeah.
expect much of them. I didn't see them in the playoffs, so maybe at like a C in the beginning. Maybe I don't know.
hmm
I don't know. It's hard.
Yeah,
I didn't really pay attention to the Raptors.
Yeah, I'm gonna give them a C minus. I agree that they're underwhelming for sure, but I kind of expected them again to be underwhelming this season. I did like that they're kind of moving parts now instead of holding on to pieces that are valuable, get them some assets.
Right.
So I think to make a successful season this year, you gotta get Scotty Barnes to progress more. Now you got quickly. Let's unleash quickly. Let's see what Barrett can do, and then the other part of it is what are you going to get for Siakam? Keep building around these young players. I think if they do that, I would up their grade a little bit because what I expected from them this season, I didn't have them making the playoffs or the play-in. So
Okay.
it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, they're doing kind of what I thought they would be doing. They're doing a little worse, but I did like
Right.
that they made a trade. They're looking to make moves. I like the quickly move. So we'll see what happens, how they build, but I'm gonna give them a C minus.
Okay. That's fair. I'm not mad at that. That's a. I just feel like if you're 0-9 in the division, you haven't won a single game yet in your division. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's not great, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's give a grade for our last team, the Brooklyn Nets. So they are. Let me get what.
21, 10th in the division, 10th in the conference.
So they're in the play-in right now. Yeah,
Mhm.
and they've one game losing streak.
Yeah,
So what are you going to give them
I'll give
as
them a C
far?
minus.
Okay.
Um, reason being is they're 13 and 11 in the East against Eastern opponents, and that kind of shocks me based on their wins and losses total overall. So most of their wins, they got 16 wins. They got 13 wins against Eastern opponents. That's pretty, pretty impressive based on their record not being at 500 or above 500. So
Sure.
they do well. They do well against Eastern opponents. So, but they are 6-12. They're terrible on the road. And they do have one win in their division. They're 1-4 in the Atlantic. So, but I don't know. I like Mikal Bridges. I like the roster that the Nets have. I don't think they're gonna be a playoff team. I think they'll be in the play-in. I think they'll stay maybe like a 9th or 8th seed maybe, but they'll play in the play-in. And I don't know. I don't see them being like an 8 seed heading into the playoffs though. I think they'll get bounced out in the play-in. But yeah, C minus.
Yeah, they're doing a little better than I thought they'd be doing. They do need a facilitator. I think Ben Simmons, that whole
Oh man,
experiment is probably over by now. It's like
I thought it's been over. He's still
well,
playing.
yeah. Well, no, he's injured.
Oh
So,
gosh.
um, I was always kind of holding out a little bit of hope that he would come back because he was kind of fun to watch. A different player, but I think that's done now. I do. And so I'm gonna give them a C because I just think they're hanging in there. I think there's probably a trade in there somewhere that they could probably do because they have some veteran wings that people want. So I'm interested to see that. But they're doing exactly what I expected them to do this season, maybe a little better. You mentioned the Eastern Conference record. I think that says something about them that they're beating people in their conference.
Mhm.
But overall, it's not like they've impressed me, but they haven't
Right.
like super disappoint me either. So C is what I'm going to give them.
Yeah.
Okay, man. Anything else on this division?
No, it's pretty. I mean, just the six. It's six Celtics and the Sixers division, really. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I see the Celtics winning it.
Yeah,
Um,
I think I think you're right. Mm-hmm.
yeah. The Knicks could, be a little, sneaky team, but not expecting too much out the Knicks. I see them getting bounced in the second round again, like they did last year. So, it's really up to the Celtics and the Sixers. See if the Sixers can get out the second round finally for once. See if they can meet the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. That would be fun,
Yes. Yeah, that would
But they
be
would
kind of
have to
fun.
go through Milwaukee to do that, though. If it stays them at the 2 and the 3 seed, if Milwaukee stays the 2 seed and Sixers stay the 3rd seed, they would have to meet in the second round. So I don't think Embiid's ever gonna ever see the Eastern Conference Finals ever in his career, bro. It's just like, man, he just can't catch a break, that guy.
Who's that? I'm sorry. Embiid.
Embiid,
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
I know, man. It's
Did I say another player?
no. You did say Embiid. I was
Oh, I was like, oh my goodness.
yeah. It's kind of funny. Yeah. Hmm.
But yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
We'll see. The Sixers might have a trade in them. Who knows who they can get? But the Knicks really, if they want to compete in this division, like you said, they're kind of the
Middle of the
middling
pack,
team.
yeah.
Yeah. So they need to make a move about you know what's it called there? They need to make a move to compete with the big three. Yeah,
Right,
for sure.
exactly.
Okay, you ready to move on to our last topic?
YouTube comments.
Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Box Score Sports Podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel, follow us on Instagram and Twitter or X, and we'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.